Why do you think is it important for Gemeente Amsterdam to communicate that it's a place for every kind of brain?
The fact that we talked about purpose and making an impact, that's really something we should focus on also with employer branding, really highlight that because it's a unique selling point. And we want to represent the city as it is because our city is of course very diverse. To be a representation of the city, you of course have to be diverse as an organization, but diversity also means being a place for every kind of brain.
Amazing.
Anne Eikenboom, a communication expert for the City of Amsterdam. With her employer branding expertise, Gemeente Amsterdam uses insights into cognitive strengths to select talent based on skills match, creating opportunities for every kind of brain.
One of the trainees, he was working in the kitchen as a chef and he really wanted to make a career switch towards IT. But of course he didn't have the right diplomas because chef, IT, it's not really the same, right? He saw the advertisement for the MBO traineeship. He played the game and then he got in.
Ooh.
And now he's a IT, so he also did all the...
Gemeente Amsterdam is one of the largest employers in the Netherlands. Yet, like many modern organizations, they are facing the challenge of attracting the right talent. Welcome to the Neurolympics podcast, brought to you by BrainsFirst, a company that helps you make better talent decisions powered by neuroscience. I'm Lucy, I'm the host of the Neurolympics podcast, and I myself have a background in psychology and applied neuroscience. But let me turn to my guest today. A very warm welcome, Anne.
Thank you.
So nice to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And before we go straight into the conversation, I would like to start with a little warm-up to get your brain cells going and to ease you into the episode.
Let's go.
First one social project or initiative that's close to your heart is...
It's called Thrive, and it's especially for the mental health of the youth in Amsterdam.
Then one talent you admire in people is...
Being really good at networking.
Your favorite part about employer branding is...
Contributing in helping people find their dream job.
And the last one skill in recruitment that doesn't get enough attention is...
I think doing all the job interviews.
Yeah, I like your answers.
Thank you.
Is the brain warmed up a little bit?
Yes.
Nice. Then let's go into the conversation. What are one of the biggest challenges that Gemeente Amsterdam is facing when it comes to employer branding and communications?
So I think nowadays it's really that there's a lot of competition. So not only from the big brands and commercial organizations, but also from other employers who are in the, how do you say it, civil working area. So Rijksoverheid, the G4, so Gemeente Utrecht, Gemeente Den Haag, Gemeente Rotterdam. There's a lot of competition and they are also very good employers.
And do you feel like you have to constantly keep up and it's like a battle, or is it also nice to like sometimes look at how they are doing things and you just enjoy that it informs how you can do
Yes,
things?
Of course, and we learn a lot from each other actually. So especially with the other big gemeentes here in the Netherlands, we try to keep in touch as much as possible. So we have networking events, or we just hop on a Teams call to just talk about things that are maybe challenging for the both of us. So it's not really direct competition, but sometimes, for example, with our traineeships, it's a battle between who gets the best trainee, and sometimes they go to us, sometimes they go to the Rijksoverheid, so that can be challenging.
I see. What expectations do today's job seekers have of public employers like Gemeente Amsterdam?
So what I really hear from especially the people who apply for the traineeships is that they want to make an impact, and especially socially. So they want to help people have maybe an improvement in their health or finding a job, or even something like being able to sport in their own city. Or so it's really about making an impact on a personal level, making an impact on people's lives.
Okay, but I think that is nice. In a sense.
Yes, it is.
Because it is, I think we're going to speak about it a bit later, but it seems like purpose-driven. I like that nowadays when I speak with my parents, I don't know how you experience it, but I feel like job was like, okay, we have to earn money.
Yeah.
But I think the meaning of a job has changed a lot.
Absolutely.
Like it needs to, it has a much higher meaning and a different meaning nowadays. So
Yeah, I really recognize that myself because I used to work at big brands myself and for commercial agencies, etc. And then I really wanted to make a career switch. Well, I did communications before, but I wanted to put all that energy in something more purpose-driven instead of something commercial.
I can totally relate to that.
Yeah.
And why do you think is it important for Gemeente Amsterdam to communicate that it's a place for every kind of brain?
We want to represent the city as it is because our city is, of course, very diverse. And to be a representation of the city, you, of course, have to be diverse as an organization. But diversity also means being a place for every kind of brain.
Definitely. Nice. Well, our collaboration started about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
First with a pilot and then with the result of entering a partnership by the end of 2024. Why did Gemeente Amsterdam decide to use cognitive data and how are you using it?
So about already 3 years ago, we started the MBO traineeship. And this is a traineeships specifically focused on people with an MBO level 3 and 4 diploma. We didn't have that, unfortunately. And then 3 years ago, or a couple of years ago, we decided let's implement this as well in our organization. And we were researching the target audience, and there it really stood out that the target audience didn't want to apply for a job in the traditional way via a resume and a motivation letter, but they were more eager to apply via new ways. For example, game-based assessments, playing online games. And because the MBO traineeship used to be a pilot, we got the opportunity to try and work with game-based assessments for the first time. And so that was the first time we used it. And now actually for all of our traineeships, we use game-based assessments. And for other jobs in the Gemeente Amsterdam as well, little by little, even more. Yeah.
That's so exciting. Like, what difference do you recognize?
So, what difference? I think mostly in the applicants. So a lot more. I think it's more. How do you say laagdrempelig?
Even though I'm German, I didn't get
that. I think it's easier to apply.
Yeah.
It's, because we really look at what you want and what you can, so really skills, instead of what you've done before and what kind of diplomas you have. It's really more about who you are as a person, how your brain works.
Yeah.
So I think that really also attracts new talents.
That's super nice because, like, maybe at this point in time, we can briefly clarify what it means, these game-based assessments. So, do you want to explain or shall I?
You can explain.
Yeah. So you basically play these 4 different, what feels like a computer game more or less, but we collect a lot of like 1,000 data points that are summarized in different skills, right? Skill sets. And then we kind of look at the cognitive strengths and match them to the position, in that case the traineeship, so the requirements of the traineeship, and see where's the cognitive match with the position or what is required in the traineeship.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is cool. So you see a difference in your audience and also in the people that you attract.
I would mostly say in the amount also of applicants, because also in our advertising, we really emphasize that you don't need a resume, you don't need a motivation letter, you just apply via playing an online game. So that really contributes in getting more applicants.
Is it like, do you think most applicants see it as an, like, wow, cool, they look at my brain, or with hesitation, like, I'm not sure, do I want this?
Well, I would say that especially the target audience of the traineeships, they are really open to innovation. I think this is also very innovative, of course. So I would say, they're open to it and willing to give it a try.
If we turn to the traineeships were, as you said, attracting young talents, so you're selecting for and also working with young talents. I'm curious, do you see a shift in how young talents today approach working for a municipality? Like, do they have different demands? Do they have different questions?
Yeah, so what we said earlier about making an impact, I think that's really important for this target audience. And I wouldn't say for young talents, but mostly just people who are just getting to work now or seeking new job opportunities. It's really about how you make an impact on the environment, the people around you.
Yeah.
Also, regarding like what an employer can offer you, I think COVID really changed how we work. So before it was you have to be at the office 5 times a week and you have to be there at 9. You cannot leave earlier than 5. And now it's more fluid, I would say. And I think that's also very with new talents looking for a new job. They also look at, okay, but what are my opportunities regarding working remote or working from home or anywhere?
Yeah.
And also, for example, what are the opportunities regarding my student debt? Is it possible to pay that off via my employer? Because a lot of employers are offering that now, and the Gemeente Amsterdam as well, starting next year. So that's amazing.
Exciting. That's nice.
So I think that are also really, USPs, unique selling points that an employer should have. Yeah.
And is it easy for an employer like Gemeente Amsterdam to provide these needs? Or is it...
I think regarding the working remotely, and that's really a possibility at our organization. And regarding the paying off your student debt, etc., we did a lobby for that. So we collected signatures. We had conversations with the FNV and with the... Well, everybody actually. We had conversations with everybody, get everyone involved to make this happen, and it worked. Nice. So that's great.
That's good developments.
Yes,
very nice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I wonder what you think of purpose, because I feel like in our generation, like, or in general, purpose-driven work, like finding your purpose is one of the biggest questions. What in your view is purpose?
What is purpose?
It's getting a bit philosophical.
Yeah, very. Well, I think we touched this before, because I think it's really about making an impact on the people around you, maybe on the environment, on the city. Because I live in Amsterdam. I work for the city of Amsterdam. I think it's really cool that when I bike through the city, I, for example, see a campaign that I worked on or my colleagues worked on. So it's really about making a visual impact.
I can totally relate. Something that you see, where you see the impact, I think is quite important for lots of people.
Yeah.
And then I think that's why I myself am so enthusiastic about cognition in, for example, Gemeente Amsterdam, because I think that contributes to purpose. I think like when you find this match of what you are really good at, and you can apply it to your work, and your work comes easy because it matches what you're naturally good at. I feel like you have an easier time to find your place and to really apply what your strengths are. Yeah. So I'm very enthusiastic about this approach.
Yeah.
From a communication or branding perspective, what does it, we touched upon this, but what does it really do to your audience, to candidates, if you say we don't look at your CV, but we look at your brain?
I think it takes off a bit of the pressure because it's more authentic. You cannot really change the way your brain is. So either it's a fit or it's not. You cannot change who you are. Yeah. Asking for a resume and for a motivational letter. A motivational letter, ChatGPT can write that for you. So what does it really say about you? And your resume, like I said before, it really says something about what you did and what you did in the past, but it doesn't say anything about what you want or about your skills.
Yeah, I think that is something I can totally relate to. I think it can be overwhelming to when you're applying to different jobs, and you always feel like you read through these requirements and you're like, okay, maybe some of the boxes I tick, some I don't tick. How do I write that in the motivation letter now to make myself stand out and sound good.
Yeah.
So I myself would also enjoy having this approach where, and also with the CVs, I feel like sometimes you just don't know what the reader likes.
Yeah.
I think there's also differences in applying to different jobs, and you just don't know what comes off as maybe, nicer or not so nice.
Of course.
So I can...
And I think, I mean, we still have also for our traineeships a list of mandatory requirements that you have to, you have to have a diploma and a certain level. So that's still there, of course.
Yeah.
The only thing we change is that you don't have to write something about yourself. You just show how your brain works and your competences.
That's nice. It's like an add-on.
Yeah.
And then you can see further in interviews if it's also a good match from the personality side.
Exactly, yeah, right? Because now we really do the game-based assessment first, and then we go to the group assessment. So then you can really see how someone is in a group setting. And from there on, we select further,
Exciting. And does it do something, would you say, to the employer image as Gemeente Amsterdam?
Well, I personally think that it shows that you are willing to be innovative because it's still quite new, especially in the field of working for the government. So I would say that if I see it at an employer, I would say, okay, that's very innovative. Yeah,
100%. No, I agree with that. And I'm curious on a more personal level. Have you experienced a story or a moment where you felt like, wow, this is exactly why we're doing this?
Yeah, actually. So I told you about the MBO traineeship and the first pool, the trainee pool that we selected. And one of the trainees, he was working in a kitchen as a chef for 6 years plus. And he really wanted to make a career switch towards IT. But of course, he didn't have the right diplomas because chef, IT, it's not really the same, right?
Yeah.
But he applied, and he never got the opportunity. And then he saw the advertisement for the MBO traineeship, and he thought, okay, let's just give it a try. He played the game, and then he got in, and very successfully so. And now he's a IT. So he also did all the workshops and trainings via the Gemeente Amsterdam. So eventually he got the right diplomas, but he didn't need them beforehand.
That is so cool to hear, because I feel like that's such a hurdle. Like, you cannot apply to a job where you don't have the requirements on paper, right? It's kind of like a knockout, like a stop,
of course,
not further.
Well, his skills show that he was perfectly fitted for being in IT. But he never got that opportunity. And then thanks to the MBO traineeship. So that's, I think, really one of the best examples. And we have a lot of examples like that. People who all, or they came from the study and didn't know what to do, or they had a kind of a career switch. So I think that's really nice.
That's super nice. And he probably also intuitively felt like IT is something for me.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
then is also a confirmation, wow, okay.
Yeah.
My brain is kind of suited to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's so nice to hear that it kind of creates doors and opportunities where otherwise the door would be closed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really nice. And which results, if you can count them, but which results would you say can you see after implementing cognition as a talent potential reveal?
Yeah, okay, so I think the biggest result is that we now implement it for all of our traineeships. We use it for every traineeship, actually. We do first the game-based assessment, then the group assessment. Also because we get a lot of applicants. For example, our general traineeship, we have mostly around 900 to 1,000 applicants. And imagine if you have to go through all the resumes and all the motivation letters.
It's a never-ending story.
Right? So it's also way more time efficient, apart from it being bias-free. And so I think that's really a great result. And also that I see it now in the rest of the organization. The MBO traineeship was really like a pilot we could try. And now other departments, they see it and they're interested and they're also implementing it. So I think that's a great result.
Cool. Because I was wondering if you think cognition could play somewhere else a role as well at the Gemeente Amsterdam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I think I answered that one.
Yeah. No, super cool. And from your personal lens, why are you personally so motivated to keep pushing for these cognitive insights?
Well, I already mentioned the bias-free aspect. I think that's really important also because as an organization, we want to be as diverse and inclusive as possible. And this really contributes to that. Yeah, because we really look at the skills, at talent, and not at what your resume says.
Yeah.
And also something that I mentioned before, the aspect of being innovative. I think that's also very important, especially for the Gemeente Amsterdam.
It's so cool because in my mind, employers like Gemeente Amsterdam is such a big institution. Like I always thought it might be hard for these big employers to be like very innovative. I think with like, you know, the startup mentality would know it more from that side, that you show innovation, that you show out of the box thinking. But I love that these really big institutions are starting to go different ways and try different ways.
Yeah, and usually the more commercial organizations, they are like the early adapters, and the Gemeente is a bit like late to the party. But now we thought, no, let's just hop on it and see how it goes, and it turned out really good. So
that's the best way to test it and then see, oh, it works, and we kind of like it, and then to implement it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
And where do you see the future of employer branding, especially for big municipalities?
The fact that we talked about purpose and making an impact, you know, that's really something we should focus on also with employer branding. Really highlight that because it's a unique selling point. So I think that's a big part. And that's it. I had something written down, but I already mentioned that. So
nice. No, that's awesome. And well, I love our conversation. I think this is like for me also so interesting to hear from your perspective, because of course we know what we do with our clients, but to hear it from your side is always so, it makes me really inspired and enthusiastic. What is one last message you would like to send out to other municipalities or other businesses?
So we've discussed the MBO traineeship, and that's really something that I'm very proud of because the MBO target audience isn't really appreciated as much as it should be. I did MBO myself, so when I finished my study, I would have dreamed doing a traineeship like this, but it wasn't there. And now we see with our traineeship, and there's a lot of other municipalities also now building the MBO traineeship, commercial organization doing this as well. So my message would be to really look into this target audience and give them the opportunity to be a part of the organization, because I think they are really the future.
Awesome. Love it.
Thank you.
Well, Anne, thank you so much for our conversation today. That was very inspiring and very insightful to hear your perspectives.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And I'm excited to see where our collaboration is still heading.
Me too.
And we hope that you at home enjoyed this conversation, no matter if you tuned in as a potential candidate for one of the positions at the Gemeente Amsterdam. We hope that this conversation inspired you. And if you want to know more about what we are doing together, you can read a bit more on our website, www.BrainsFirst.com. But you can also get in touch with Anne or myself. So please feel free to leave any comments. You're tuning in on Spotify or on YouTube. We would love to get in touch with you. And of course, we would love to see you more frequently on the Neurolympics podcast. So please make sure to subscribe to any of our channels. You can find us under www.brainsfirst.com/podcast. And we're excited to see you next time on the Neurolympics podcast. So until then, stay happy, stay healthy, everyone, and see you next time. Ciao, ciao.